Okay, it's 7:45 AM, taking off from Ljubljana on the Brdo and Bled Castle mission. V1 rotate, hold 10 degrees. That's pretty close actually. Tap the brakes. Gear up. Nose is coming up to the
MiGMan 007,
10 degree
continue for west departure.
datum. Copy that.
MiGMan 007, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Copy that.
Ljubljana Tower MiGMan 007 frequency change.
Oh, it looks like somebody else just landed. I didn't hear him on the radio, so I'm sure they know what they're doing there. It's cool. Right, doing 370 knots. Full deflection to the left. It's pretty brisk. Fantastic. Right, and there's our first waypoint. Brdo Castle. Awesome. Okay, heading up to Lake Bled. Just get the trim sorted here. That's better. Beautiful lighting in the morning. So the sun's over there in the east. You won't see much of that until the way back. Right, so let's so following the main road, as you can see down here, the motorway goes right up to Bled Airport, which is at 12 o'clock. And then we're just continuing straight up the valley. We'll get to Bled Lake with the famous Brdo Castle and the Assumption of Maria Church. Let's do a low pass up the runway here at Bled, because they always like that in the morning. Probably just coming onto shift now. Let's sneak in over these power lines. Pops of smoke too. There we go. Smoke on. Hi guys. There's a wake up. That's for sure. Pulling up, smoke off, looking back. Oh, did I get my smoke? Ah, I didn't load the smoke pods. Right. Okay. Well, what can you do? And here we are at Bled Lake. Which looks absolutely stunning this time of day. I mean, it looks stunning any time of day, but let's wake up the castle. Hi guys, give me a wave. Yep, that's me waving in front of my GoPro. And the gorgeous church, look at the reflection. Over this little ridge, or we can go through there actually, into Bohinjka Valley, which will take us to Lake Bohinj. And I'm guessing Bohinjka Valley means something like Little Bohinj. From my limited knowledge of Slavic languages, did used to speak Russian conversationally reasonably well back in the day, and I could read and write it too. Yeah, in those days we wrote with things called pens, but anyway, most people won't know what I'm talking about now. Right, now up the valley, it's quite dark of course this time of morning, speaking of which, left my landing lights on. But we're going to break out into the sunlight momentarily. You can see it on the hilltops there. The valley widens out. Still looking out for power lines down here though. Yeah, there's some right there. Just went over them. Let's go through this gap. And just over this ridge we'll see Lake Bahunge. Sitting around about 400 knots. As I get used to this, flying this route in this manner, I'll ease the speed up bit by bit, but for now it's safety first. And here's Lake Bahunge. Let's grab the east end of it. Hi guys. Already out fishing, and up we go. Now we've got the Maverick mountain climb over that white tip ridge up there now to town of Tolman, waypoint 4 or 5, yep. So that's waypoint 4, the end of the lake. Let's give it some burner. Up into the sun we go. A little bit to the left actually. Textbook ridge crossing, according to my old copy of F-16 tactical stuff. And there's Tolmin down there in the valley. The waypoint's actually placed over a playing field. But you could just as easily use this hill as a reference in the middle of this valley intersection. Just that there's so many hills around here, I like to pick something that stands out a little bit, and here's our playing field right there. Now we ridge hop straight over here with an easy left-hand turn, and then there's a quite violent left-hand turn, which there's not too many of in my flights, but so I have a couple of ridges over in this valley, and we're going to see a dam, which is going to go to the west of it a bit. Now in a slower aircraft, of course, you just fly around the valley floor, but as you'll see, it's a pretty tight fit for this beast. The dam is going to be hard to see, it's just below us. Can I see it with the external view? I reckon I'm just over it. Anyway, not to worry, that one is often hard to spot from altitude. But the point of the exercise was to get us onto our track home, which we are on now. Approximately east. Now you can wind your way along valleys, and I do encourage that. But for this flight, I'm going to expedite the whole thing and just take the crows as the crow flies route. Stunning. Wow. Takes your breath away. Fantastic terrain around here. Now several of the other flights take us along those ridges. There's some very famous, it's the Julian Alps, that area. There's very famous ski resorts there and all kinds of good stuff. So we're right on track. And we are 9 miles from waypoint 7. Waypoint 7 is the town of Zeleznicki. From there we can see the airport. So as often is the case, the last leg on this flight is pretty much a nice cruisy straight line. This one's actually 19 miles long. And it's taking over some spectacular terrain. You can just climb, fly straight ahead, and spend plenty of time looking out the window. see the valley coming up, and town of Zelezniki's down here in this valley. It's these large white, look like they're either retail or factories, light industrial. I've got to look it up, but regardless, they're easy to spot. Once again, it's another valley junction. I like to pick those, and yep, town really stands out. Now, slight right-hand turn. We should be able to stay in this valley, I think. It'll take us pretty much right back to Ljubljana Airport. Okay, not all the way back in the valley, but I think you actually can follow that all the way back to the valley floor, but once again, using the KISS principle here, keep it simple. Lots of castles and manors and churches spread about on hilltops. And here we are, here's the valley, boom. It's, I think it's Mount St Mary Hill, that one, which is a great landmark when you're flying down to Ljubljana or coming back to find the airport. That one is included in many of the flight plans. Fantastic. Doesn't get much better than that. Just change my nav radio. Yeah, 2.8 miles to the airport. I was going to say it was on the wrong beacon. And here we are. Okay, let's talk to the man. Full stop landing. Channel 4.
Ljubljana Tower MiGMan 007 is 2 miles west 1,900 feet with Sierra to land.
MiGMan 007 Ljubljana Tower. Altimeter tree 0.12, wind 276 at tree. Fly left downwind runway tree 0.
30.12, checked.
MiGMan 007 wind 276 at tree. Clear to land runway tree 0.
Copy that.
Cleared to land runway tree 0 MiGMan 007.
Gear down. Flaps are auto, landing light on, fuel's good. Air brake is retracted. Coming in rather high, but that's okay. Check the air brakes in, we have 3 greens, yes. Pretty much on speed now, so a bit more throttle. There's our shadow coming into play. That's awesome. Throttle back, and I'll flare a bit at the last minute here. Reduce that sync rate. Throttle's chopped. Touchdown, nose down, speed brake out. Toe brakes on, and we should be right for the first exit. Don't need the chutes. Keep the chutes packed. Ground crew will thank me for that. And we're back. What was that, 14 minutes? Just over 14 minutes, yeah.
MiGMan 007 exit runway when able.
Very cool. Let's take this exit. Look at that. Look at those mountains.
MiGMan 007 contact ground on 121.9 tree.
Copy that.
121.9 tree MiGMan 007.
And, oh, that's us. Nice shadow. And wow, I think I'll go and have a cup of tea and sit in the sun and enjoy the view. Fantastic.